Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Entitled Parents Reddit video. If you are new to the channel, then subscribe and click on notifications so you don't miss out on the fun. In our first story, an entitled mother tries to put our OP in her place, but the tables are turned. Let's jump right in. I was a store manager for a semi-well-known women's clothing store for 12 years. I left retail altogether 2 years ago. This story is several years old and takes place on a Black Friday. The company I worked for didn't really have any sales on Black Friday, as they always had clearance markdowns every week. As store manager, I was required to be there at 7 a.m. when we opened. I didn't get off until about 4 p.m. that day. I had closed the day before on Thanksgiving. We got our manager schedule from corporate. We were told that any overdue layaways needed to be put back on the floor Wednesday night so we wouldn't miss any. This was important if we were to make our monthly bonus Saturday night at close. So I put all overdue layaways back. There were quite a few as we had been extremely busy and hadn't been putting any back. I realized this meant no one had probably called our customers to inform them that their layaway was due. We always try to do this, but for some reason we hadn't done it. Things had been busier than normal. For retail folks, this meant that we were up 15% for the year, up from 1 to 3% in previous years. Anyways, Friday morning around lunchtime, entitled mother enters. She comes up to the register after looking around and says she wants to pick up her layaway. I immediately recognize her as she shops at several of our company's surrounding stores. I remembered putting her layaway back as it was 2.5 weeks overdue. I told her I was sorry, but I cleaned out all overdue layaways Wednesday night. She went off on me. She dropped the F-bomb a few times, called me and my employees idiots, you name it. She then says, "I want my money back then in cash." I'm sorry, but as you know, our policy doesn't allow for layaway refunds to be given back in cash. It is required to be put on a gift card. Since when? Since the beginning of this year. She said she wanted to speak to my manager. I started backing up towards the store phone as I waved and told her I was the store manager. She then says for me to get my district manager on the phone. So I called my district manager, explained the situation, all the while the customer is speaking quite loudly and my district manager can hear her. "Is that her?" "Yes." "Let me talk to her." "I don't need to talk to her. Tell her if she can bring her receipt showing how she paid every payment, I will allow you to give her the money back with how she has paid, otherwise it goes on a gift card." "Okay." "Let me know if she is okay with that, and if not, I'm in the next town over store. I can be there in 10 minutes. "Okay, bye." "So my district manager will allow me to give you cash back." The entitled mother smiles real big. "But you have to have all the receipts showing you paid cash." Entitled mother's face falls. "Okay, fine. I'll be back. I'm going home to find my receipts." All my employees are looking at me like, wow. As I'm walking the store, I got to thinking, you know what? I'm gonna show her some grace. I went and pulled her layaway slip, found everything in her layaway and put it aside for her. She came back with her daughter, entitled daughter, about 20 minutes before the end of my shift. She walks up to me and tosses her receipts on the counter and says, "There! Now, about my money." "Well, I wanted to let you know that after you left, I pulled your layaway slip and went and found all your items. They had not been sold yet. Here they are, but I want you to understand something. Yes, we could have called you to remind you, as I know you are a frequent shopper with our company. However, I want you to understand something. You see all these people in my store right now. There were about 20 to 30 people. Well, the entire year has been busier than normal for me and my staff. We have been doing the best we can. This is only going to get worse the closer we get to Christmas. I want you to know that I did not appreciate being spoken to like I wasn't worth anything. I am a human being and I have feelings. If you cannot respect me and my employees and the job we are trying to do, you can leave and not come back to my store. The same goes for your daughter. She had been rolling her eyes at me and huffing the whole time I spoke. I will not tolerate blatant disrespect for my customers when we are following our store policy and doing our jobs. I did not have to go and pull your layaway items for you, but I did because I wanted you to have your items. But if you don't want them, my assistant will take them right now and put them back on the floor. Y'all, she was floored that I would say that to her. She was quiet for a moment and spoke with her daughter on what they wanted to keep or not. She then turned back to me and said, "I'm sorry for how I acted. You are right. I behaved badly and for that I apologize. I will take everything in the layaway and we can use the refund towards the final total. I want you to know though that it will be a while before I do come back in here though." I told her I understood and that I hoped we could have a good employee-customer relationship the next time we met. One day, months later, when I was helping the store manager out at another store, I ran into her. She came up and gave me a big hug and said she was gonna come and see me soon at my regular store. She came in there the next week. In story number 2, we have an entitled mother who demands a refund for the 18A rated movie that she brought her kids to because they were scared. So back in high school, I worked at a local movie theater. It was an okay job, a bit boring at times. We can see some of the movies, but it is always broken up because we have other things we have to do. While I worked there, we had a movie called Sweeney Todd debut. For those who don't know, it's a dark comedy musical about a murderous barber who slits throats and cannibals and such. Definitely not a kids movie, thus the 18A rating. Now, an 18A rating doesn't mean you have to be 18 to see the movie. It only means that it is not recommended for anyone less than 18, and they would need to be accompanied by an adult to be admitted. An entitled mother used the self-serve ticket machines to purchase tickets for herself and 2 children, probably around 6 and 9, and off they went to watch the movie. Now, we have movie synopses and ratings posted right at eye level at the self-serve machines. Also, the various posters and cutouts around the theaters advertising the movie definitely didn't make it look like a happy Disney movie. Apparently, entitled mother just heard it was a musical and figured it would be fine. Kids love musicals. Now, we have a policy at our theater where we will refund or swap a ticket purchase for up to 30 minutes after a movie starts, no questions asked. Having seen the movie Sweeney Todd myself, I knew the first 5 minutes of it definitely show exactly what type of movie this is, which is why the exchange I had with the entitled mother at the end of the movie was so unbelievable to me. "I demand a refund. We just watched Sweeney Todd and my children were scared." She then points to the tear-stained face of her 6-year-old girl. Now, what kind of entitled mother sits through an entire movie while her child is scared and crying? "I'm so sorry, but unfortunately, I can only refund a movie ticket within 30 minutes of the show beginning." Well, someone should have warned us that this kids' movie would be so horrific. Ma'am, this isn't a kids' movie. The show was clearly labeled 18A at the ticket machine, and the synopsis of the movie was posted right there. Also, the violence is pretty evident from the very beginning of the movie. We would have gladly refunded or exchanged your ticket had you come out at 30 minutes, but we can't do anything for you now. You stayed and watched the whole movie. The entitled mother splutters and starts making up a whole bunch more excuses as to why she expected that it was going to turn into a more family-friendly movie later. I could see her point. Most family movies do start out with horrific violence and then continue with that throughout the film. Eventually, the manager got involved and we gave her a few free popcorn passes for the next time she comes in to see a film. I was surprised, and afterwards, I asked my manager why he did that, since she was clearly in the wrong. He said she didn't buy anything from the concessions this time, so he gave her the popcorn passes. The next time she comes in, she will use them to buy some popcorn, and 15 minutes later, she will be forced to buy a $4 bottle of water or $6 pop when the popcorn makes her and her kids all thirsty. She is entitled, but in the end, we'll make more money off her the next time. This is John from Slashback. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more of them, then please hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.